Let's see
Three,
if our
two, one.
shorts.
What? I
our
thought we were
shorts
already live.
We are.
I am talking to people.
It's going. Shorts live is going.
Oh.
I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
We are going now, people.
We're moving.
I forgot to do one thing. Was I live over on Cabbage?
You were live on Cabbage.
Well, that actually kind of works out, doesn't it?
Well, the very first thing that I recommend to any content creator is expect technical difficulties.
check all your P's and Q's before you hit go live.
And by that he means stream key. Stream key is very important.
Okay, it's working. We're good to go.
Cabbage.
Now. Yeah.
I got a question for you.
What's up, guys? I'm here now.
Listen. I just look at my screen. I've got you front and center.
Yeah.
And I just see you like looking around from different monitors, you were panic building there.
I was. It's okay.
You became a panic builder. So let's talk content and audience engagement really quick.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to talk about this is because Cabbage is pretty good at it, I think. And so I want to know some of his opinions on it. So my first question is, how has your content style or focus changed since you first started? And when I say first started, I mean not necessarily with your Minecraft YouTube videos which we've talked about before, which you first began. Mm-hmm. Yes, Briv, you are engaged. But I think actually no, you're probably not engaged. You're probably married.
Dude, you better ask that question because I've already forgot what your question was.
I know you've already forgotten. How has your content style or focus changed since you first started? And I'm going to say first started posting Minecraft, or not Minecraft, but Sea of Thieves videos.
Sea of Thieves. I think that as my YouTube efforts have grown with live streaming, at least, well, I'll put it this way. I have made it a very big effort to try and respond to like every comment that I can. The problem with that is I get really OCD about it. And I'm like, oh, I got to respond. I got to respond. And then we have these conversations in the comments, which is great, except then it keeps popping up that I have unresponded comments. So I had to like think, okay, well, how else do I respond? But when I was first streaming, because there weren't a whole lot of people watching, obviously, it was a lot harder to think about like, how do I interact with chat? How do I keep people hanging out and enjoying the content, but also having chat feel like they're included in the experience? And especially because most of the time we're gaming, and I mean, there's people out there, they'll just watch a game to watch it and because they like you and they like your content or whatever. But as things have shifted away from, now that I have people in chat, right, and it feels like there's more people to talk to, I'm like, okay, I kind of put the game to the side so that I can engage with viewers, because really they're more important than what's happening in the game, right? Now,
right.
There are times, and I will say, like, as a content creator, you can't always constantly 100% of the time engage with your chat. You should do it when you can. But in Sea of Thieves, I think Sea of Thieves is a great game in terms of streaming, because you have a whole bunch of times where you're going in between missions, you know, in between islands, in between whatever, slow seas, no fights, and you can just hang out with chat and talk to them while you're going to and from. Like, you still have to participate in the sailing part, but I'm usually on the helm, so like I'm not doing a whole lot of walking around. So I just sit and talk to chat, which does neglect my crew at times. That doesn't mean that I didn't hear my crew. It just means that I'm like in the middle of a conversation.
Oh,
But
that's a good old
I
clipperino right
do try
there.
and go back and then interact with my um crew to be like, hey, I did hear what you said, but I get busy. I'm trying to shift towards like muting myself because I know that if people are also recording, and if you are recording, let me know before we go live or something, just so that I can know, like, if I'm going to have this random conversation with chat, that I'm not going to interrupt what you're doing and what you're recording. You know what I mean? So that shift has kind of happened recently and over the last couple of months of like just playing a game and not talking. Like, I always wondered if I could do that, if I could talk to people while they're like in chat. You know what I mean? Like, can I play a game but also consistently talk? Because I mean, I see these streamers and they're just talk, 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 talk. I'm like, how do they talk for like ever? Like they just don't stop talking because they don't want people to leave. They're like, oh, if I don't talk, then people leave. And if people leave, then I don't have that view time or whatever it is. Like, there's a lot of thoughts going on in your head when you're streaming that most people aren't thinking of when they're playing a game. But when you're streaming the game, you
Right.
have to think of like, okay, well, I have to make sure I mention like, yep, I saw you said hi, but it was while we were in the middle of a big fight or whatever it was, right? So I'm not sure that really answers what you're asking, but I do think that there will be a shift in your content creation journey, especially if you're live streaming, from when you're going from talking to no one to talking to a lot of people. Even if it's 10, even if it's 5, even if it's 10 people, right? Versus the 0 to 1 to 2 range.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I do think there needs to be a switch in the mindset of
Briv feels neglected. Sorry, Briv.
Good old Briv. I'm sorry, Briv. I'm sorry for Cabbage. No, I do think there needs to be a switch in the mindset from, and I think we've talked about this before, but content creation is creating something, right?
Yeah.
And you've got to have a value proposition in there. So what is your value proposition? Are you engaged with chat, or are you first neglected? Are you engaged in chat? Are you engaged in creating? Are you one of the top players? Is it your skill that people are watching you for? You need to figure out what people are watching you for and hone in on that and hone your craft, right? And I think you've done a really good job about the one. You hit that the new pirate group, right, from PS5 coming in. And I remember having conversations with you where you targeted, not necessarily like specifically targeted the PS5 players, but you're like, you know what, I'm going to start creating how-to videos on the game that I love. And that's what you did, and it brought people in. But you had this switch, and we had those conversations too. You had that switch from, am I playing a video game for people to watch, or am I playing a video game to play with my friends and family? Yep. Or am I here to create something that people are entertained with by watching?
Yeah. And for a long time, you kind of get stuck in that. But I think, and maybe those in chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that what I really have to offer, at least in terms of live streaming, is the environment that I try and have in my streams is very inviting to anyone. You know, we try to keep it family friendly. We try to keep it very, chill. Even in intense fighting situations, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But we still have fun and we still have a good time with it, and we still banter and whatever, but we keep it in a way that other people can watch and have us playing in their living room and not be concerned about, their 5-year-old walking by or their, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and it's a really interesting way to be um inviting to all people of all ages without targeting specifically like, oh, well, I'm targeting a child-based audience, right? Because
Right.
for YouTube purposes, you don't want to, I mean, really child-based content is like, I would say like 8 years old and under type content. But according to YouTube, it's 13 and under.
Yeah.
So, but
Speaking of children, un
that's
momento.
COPPA stuff. I will. Oh, he's back so fast. I would not be back that fast with my kids. I can hear them calling for me already.
And I was calm this time because I knew I was on camera.
I'm
joking.
Whatever.
I'm joking. No, I like that. I think creating the environment for you have those different elements, right? So
yeah.
So yeah, I like the way you put that.
Yeah, and we try and help people like when they're new to the live stream. We try and encourage people to, try and follow those guidelines, because I think YouTube is, you can put like, hey, this is our rules. I think I have some in place. I'm not sure if they pop up like they do on Twitch. Twitch has like chat rules and whatever. So if you are streaming on Twitch, you can just put in like, hey, these are my expectations for my chat. And then if you agreed as soon as you started typing that you were going to abide by my chat rules and being on my channel. And if people are not following those rules, you have every right to warn them and eventually ban them if they don't listen.
Yeah.
We haven't really had too many problems. We get trolls every now and then. Troll accounts and people who are just trying to get you to say naughty things, but they're usually passerbyers. They're not people who are going to sit.
They're also usually successful on you.
I'm getting better. I felt pretty bad one time, but I'm getting better at not falling into the trap of people's names. And it's my friend so-and-so, happy birthday. And I'm like, oh, happy birthday, so-and-so. It was like, it came out of my mouth and I realized that I had made a mistake.
Instantly. So, here's a question for you. Unless if you guys have questions in chat, feel free to throw them out there. That's what we're here for.
This is a Q&A. It's not just a
we will ramble on forever. But originally, and for some of these answers for some of the questions, questions morph over time. So some of these questions have already been asked to Cabbage and other content creators that we've interviewed. But those answers change over time. Trips, ask away.
Yeah, you can ask anything. Away. It could be completely out of context. One thing I'll say while we're still kind of early on in this is that we do have a podcast that is technically hosted here on YouTube. It also gets posted to all the other podcast sites, but this is like our hub for the podcast. It is on this channel. It is a playlist, whatever. People who are currently doing content or, trying to get into content, like we do still have an open form for applications if you want to be a part of that podcast. We typically will review what kind of content you're making because you have to send us your socials or whatever. Like we're not going to have someone on the podcast that doesn't fit like kind of our feel and our vibes, So we have had a few applicants and there's been some that were like, nope, I'm not going to interview them, which is sad because we would love to be able to interview everybody. Why do I exist? Is that a relevant question?
Why do I exist? Just to suffer?
Well, if you want to get into content creation,
It's a lot of suffering.
There's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of mental discouragement. There's a lot of mental blocks. There's a lot of motivational blocks. And there's a lot of things that you just have to
luck of the draw,
push
I
through.
guess. Trips. Oh, that's too good. Okay, Cabbage.
Yeah.
Originally, you said that you were inspired to create content. It was specifically Minecraft content because you wanted to create content that was safe for kids to watch. You had been asked to do that by some parents and that sort of thing, and you saw how much content kids were starting to consume, and you wanted a safe place for them to be able to come and kind of a safe harbor, so to speak. Yeah. So that may have been your inspiration when you started creating content. How has that evolved over time?
Well, I always wanted to do some sort of gaming channel. I felt like gaming was, I don't want to like discredit gaming channels, but I just feel like gaming channel in general is relatively easy to set up and relatively inexpensive to maintain. And most of the time when you're a streamer and you're starting, you don't have a lot of money and you don't have a lot of resources. And so you kind of have to start with that cheaper option. Now, of course, I would love to be a type of content creator that could post anything and everything and it'd be fine, right? Not be pigeonholed into just that one category. But it just it has evolved. I tried different games. I tried games that I thought would be interesting to and family friendly kind of games and would be interesting to other people, or at least interesting to me. Yeah. I tried a bunch of free games on Steam and those kinds of things. And honestly, even from the beginning, so I think my first video is from like 2017 or something. And happy birthday. I'm not going to read your name because I don't know if it's a trap card, but if it is your birthday, happy birthday. Sometimes he's trying to read it 4 different ways to see if it's inappropriate. Anyways, and so my kind of focus did shift because really what stopped and halted a lot of what I was doing was when YouTube released their COPPA problems with the government and like ads targeting children and that sort of a thing. It was all a YouTube problem, but it affected tons and tons of creators. And I wasn't big enough for it to be detrimental, but even from the beginning, my like beginning videos, I think my first one got like 200 views total, even to this day. And I was so excited when it hit 100. You know, it was like the first video. I was like, this is it. Like, we're already like 100 views in on the first video. Like, no way. Like, we're going to be huge. Fast forward like 5 years. But I stopped posting. I wasn't consistent. I fell into the thing that a lot of creators fall into, which is discouragement and just like time. I just didn't have a lot of time, whether I was doing school or I was working or I've got children, things keep me busy. But I
this
enjoy
man's got a whole wife.
Everyone has a life outside of what they do on the internet.
I said wife.
Oh, a whole wife.
WIFE.
Yeah, Blue Star.
Yeah, Blue Star.
We'll start over on Cabbage in about 30 for Sea of Thieves. But anyway, so when you're creating content, you just need to find something you're passionate about. And at the time, I was passionate about making content for people who suggested that their kids would be interested in my content. And it wasn't like I had 500 people that came to me and said this. It was like 2 or 3 people who have like 4 or 5 kids between them, So the fact that I got more than 5 views was spectacular. And I think even to this day, I still get that same level of excitement. It's a little bit more discouraging when I only get 100 views. versus, but
Well, and I
perspective
think
is
everyone
everything.
falls into that view trap, right?
Yeah. Oh, everyone does. Even especially when you start hitting the bigger, like I've got shorts out there that are, they're like 6K, 10K, 12K. And you're like, whoa, that's so many views. Holy crap, what do I do? And
Right.
then you post one, you're like, this one's gonna like be the one that explodes and takes off, and everyone's gonna know who I am. And it
Well, and
gets like 50
yeah,
views.
and sometimes it doesn't make sense, right? I'll post or not post, but I'll use an example. One of my good friends streams. He's been streaming Arena, Breakout Infinite or something like that.
Mm.
I can't remember the name of the game, but it's like a Tarkov-esque style looter shooter.
Mm.
Anyways, he's been posting videos on YouTube, and he had 3 videos, all used the same keywords. He used different hashtags in the title, keywords in the title. He was posting the keywords in the keywords, and he used the same keywords, and the 3 videos took off. The next 3 videos literally got like 2 to 3 views, 2 to 3, compared to like 5 and 6,000 for the other 3.
With the same tags.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense. And
Yeah.
those 3 that got like no views, in my opinion, were more entertaining than the ones that got all the views.
Right. That's how it goes. 100%.
Yeah.
Trips. I think that's a great idea. YouTube has a wonderful community tab. You can just post a poll, and I've been so surprised at how many people see community posts. And I think it's because not a lot of YouTubers actually create community posts. But Tripp's suggestion was, posting, hey, these are 4 games that I'm thinking I'll play on stream for the next couple of streams or something. Which ones would you want to see? That's a great idea. I might even do that. A game that I think would be super fun for as a multiplayer for us would be SnowRunner, which I know you have. And I'm not sure if the base game is as funny as some of the things I've seen on it, but just having all of us in a Jeep trying to climb a mountain and like trying to get through it together, but also sabotaging each other, it just sounds like a good time. You know what I mean? Which is kind of like a racing game, I guess. But I don't really play racing games. I used to back when they were just
Blue Star,
like Burnout and other stuff. But SnowRunner does have DLC, I'm pretty sure.
SnowRunner does have DLC. I have most of them. Pyro, dude, that's where I'm at. I can pull like 10K, 3K views on throwaway clips, and then get 5 on a clip with amazing gameplay. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, man.
And trying 100%. To figure that out is like, I've done everything in the algorithm game.
Here's my advice for that. In fact, let me pull it up.
I don't know if I don't think he has the DLC. He'll probably play the base game first.
Yeah.
Probably. And then get DLC.
So here's the funny thing about that. Pyro, I accidentally, this is completely on accident, Bunchy uploaded the same short twice with different titles, and I failed to double check that I hadn't already posted it. Okay, so I have one post that says galleons aren't scary, stop soloing them, right? And it was when we Trips and I sank a solo galleon player, which beforehand we did not know they were solo, right? So that video I have that one. That was the second one. Before that, I posted the same video. Oh, no, it was after.
Clip Pyro.
Yeah, the fisherman one. Oh, 2 videos later, the exact same video, about a week apart. Okay. The first one got to 888 views with 38 likes and then 17 comments. The second one, same video, actually didn't perform as well. It got 831 views, but it got 27 likes, but 21 comments. And it hit different people. So if you have a clip that was just fantastic, and you're like, dang it, it did not did not go out there, there's two things you can do. One, you can go to your YouTube analytics and you can see when your viewers are on. That's option one. If you don't have enough posts for that to happen, then you won't be able to find it. But there should be on your like YouTube analytics, like a when people are online, it's all purple and stuff, right? Just repost the same thing at that time and see what happens. And then repost another one another time. And you can unlist some if you want, or you just leave them on. I guess. Or another one we did was I made a video about the Reaper's flag. And Bunchy also made a video
And
about
for
the
some
Reaper's
context
flag.
here, Bunchy is the editor for Cabbage.
Yeah, Bunchy's been in the live streams, and he's been kind of finding those clips and those funny moments and things. And he's doing a great job, and I appreciate him a lot. We've been friends for a long time, and someday I'll reward him for his efforts. But his video used like an AI voice to convey the exact same information that I had posted. And mine got 10K views, and it was basically the same message. His got 20K views. His did twice as good as mine. And literally all he did was watch my video and had AI read the voice or do the voiceover. It was like a, Microsoft Sam or something, read it. Like, and I was like, how is yours doing better than mine? I was so mad. I thought people hated the AI voice too, but it turns out the algorithm loves the AI voice for whatever reason. It was literally the same video.
That's something to be kind of made note of too, is what Pyro just said. With an AI voice, I thought people hated AI voices. Well, people aren't the algorithm. And people are just being shown your content because of the algorithm.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
They've done tests and they've done polls, and you might not like the AI voice because you know that it's AI, or you know that it's, at the very least, it's not necessarily AI. It's just like a text to speech sort of a thing, right? There are AI mimic voices. Like I could try and train an AI to sound like me, and they'll sound close, but not quite, right? There are a lot of people who've been polled as not knowing the difference between an AI or a text-to-speech voice and a regular human, which is terribly sad because it's, in my eyes, it's very obvious, like that there's a difference. But sometimes it doesn't hurt to try, to just be like, forget it. For this video, I'm going to put the captions into a text-to-speech bot and have it read the thing I was going to say. But you can't do that for everything because people aren't going to stay for that voice and that content. They're going to stay for you. And to kind of counter what Snazzy's saying about the algorithm not being people, in reality, the algorithm is people. Because the algorithm is completely based on real humans interacting with your video or with your content. Like, yes, the algorithm is this like ominous thing we talk about as like its own smart entity, but YouTube will push your video to anyone who's remotely interested in your theme and your type of content. If it's, if it's GTA 5, if it's Sea of Thieves, if it's crocheting, right? If you have the tags and you tell YouTube, hey, this is what this video is about, it'll be like, okay, I know those types of people based on their watch history. I'll see how you do. And if it does well, it's because you hit your audience. And if it doesn't do well, you need to look at two things. One, did you target it correctly? And two, did you just not make a good video? Or is there something you could do differently about that video?
Pyro says, I include a lot of music or time action to music. Does that have a negative effect? I try to pick good songs that are also on trend. No, I don't think it has a negative effect. And on top of that, if they are on trend, it's going to pick it up and push it harder.
Yeah. It is
So
tricky with music. If you're looking at exposure, it's great. If you're looking at trending music and those sorts of things for monetization, it's not great. Mainly
mhm.
because the artists own the sounds, right? They own their music, they own whatever. So, but YouTube's got a great system for sharing revenue and having licenses and doing those sorts of things. So, but you typically don't even have to think about it because YouTube will do it automatically. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things of like you want to get the exposure, but you might not make as much money on it or whatever. But to
Oh,
be honest,
trips.
you're not making money on shorts anyways, unless you're getting millions and millions on them.
Trips. We're about to go down a rabbit hole here, brother. All right. So, if you want to get started on YouTube or streaming in general, there's a couple of things I think you probably should do. If it's just for fun and you just want to post some content out, that's great. Um, uh-oh. um, you kind of got to figure out what your purpose is and create a growth strategy essentially. If you want to grow, if you want to get to the point that anyways, that's a whole it's a whole thing. But as far as just getting started, it's pretty simple. You go to youtube.com, you create your YouTube account, you pick up your name, and
Which
I
you've
think you
already
got
got
like what 24 hours, 48 hours
to go
with a new
live.
name to go live. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about with the new name, with the new channel. Yes.
Yeah.
If you've verified yourself with a photo ID and a phone number, I think is what it is for. There's like a bunch of authorization steps under. If you go to like the studio, YouTube Studio, and then you go
So
down to
when you pull up
settings.
YouTube, it's going to be up in the right hand corner, drop down to YouTube Studio.
Yeah. And on there, there's like a settings at the bottom left, and that's where you have all that information of like permission. It's not permissions.
Mhm.
It might be under monetization actually. But that's what enables live streaming. Now, for making YouTube videos, you don't need a form. You don't need to fill anything out. You could literally just post it.
Yep.
Like you can post garbage. Literal
But
garbage. I'm not talking metaphorical. Like you could post literal garbage.
trips. If you want to start creating content, we should jump in a Discord call. And this goes for anyone. I'm happy to jump in a Discord call with anybody.
Yep.
And say, throw me your information. I'd be happy to look at it and be a second set of eyes. As far as whether that be thumbnails, that's what this whole thing is about.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's thumbnails, your growth strategy, challenging lessons we've been through.
That's why the Cabbage Discord has shifted out of my channel, because having just a random other gaming group channel just doesn't mean much to people. But Streamers Unplugged is a way for us to try and help people who want to create content or just talk about content. You may already know how to make content, but you just need help when you're discouraged. Even if it's like, hey, this video didn't do well and I want some constructive feedback, we can help with that too. So I love survival games.
Do shares have a bigger effect on the algorithm? I'm not sure. I think all of it together is what does it. Cabbage may have an answer here, but
well, shares are going to at least give you more exposure. Like if someone shares your video to somebody else, there's a chance that person that got it is also going to send it to somebody else, right? And then that becomes a big giant waterfall effect. So people share my stuff.
Yeah.
YouTube has a fun little thing where I think every week or every month they send you a little update. If you have the app,
exactly, Pyro,
it'll send. If you have the YouTube Studio app, it'll send you a notification of like your weekly update or whatever, and it'll tell you.
Ignoring those. Should I look at those?
It tells you how many people have shared, how many people have commented, how many people have just seen your stuff. It's kind of a little fun thing. I'm surprised every time I see like, 40 shares, 50 shares, 20 shares. I'm like, oh wow,
OBS
what are you
is
sharing?
the best in my opinion. Trips. Hardcore
Yeah.
survival. We love hardcore survival, Blue Star. Um, Cabbage dies a lot, and I try to speed run.
Dude, Snazzy is like the best fast, like
Not true.
get from sticks and stones to metal and
I
yeah.
played DayZ, yeah. Yes,
OBS, yeah. Yeah,
Trips,
you
that's
can
what I do,
record.
Trips, is I record locally and then
Yeah.
it saves in my videos folder. You give it a destination as to where you want it to save. But yeah. Not
An Atlas, yeah.
Atlas.
Anyways,
I have played Rust. I don't play Rust anymore though.
your other options are Stream Elements, not Stream Elements,
Which
what
is
am I saying?
OBS.
Streamlabs OBS.
Streamlabs.
Which is basically OBS with a bunch of Streamlabs plugins attached to it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty heavy. Hello,
Julian's
Julian.
Game World
Bonjour.
Videos. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're
Bienvenue.
just here talking about content.
But yeah, I think anyone should create content if they have the slightest interest in trying.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. And if you need support, this is what we want to do. We're here for supporting people for free.
Yeah. For free.
Yup. All right. Well, do you have any other last minute questions, chat? Anybody? We're doing good, Julians. We are doing bueno.
Yeah, Trips. I mean, I think.
Hey, new sub.
Thank you
Thanks,
for that
Julian.
sub. Thank you. I think recording your gameplay, best mic type to get anything. Cabbage has the Blue Yeti.
My Blue Yeti, this Blue Yeti that I have, which is slightly larger, like you can see, it's kind of chunky. That's noisy. I'm sorry. Is like $100, but they have a smaller one that's like $70. Function. It's the same exact thing. The only difference is it has less. Like mine can do speaker here on both sides. It can do the room, like it has a bunch. But if you only need the one setting, which most people do, like you could just get away with that microphone. You can honestly get away with almost any microphone and make it sound good through filters and stuff.
He uses the Blue Yeti. I use the pod mic from Rode.
Then
but
you
I
got
also
to
have
get
a
all that
Rodecaster
other
Duo.
stuff.
You can get a mixer for like $100.
It's true.
You don't have to have the Rodecaster Duo and all that stuff. The one thing I'm going to say is I've been doing this for a while, on and off.
Snaz has been doing this live streaming wise. Snaz has been in the content world way more than I have.
And I it doesn't take much to get started, and you're going to gain stuff over time.
Yeah.
You can upgrade your mic, one year, upgrade your keyboard 1 year, whatever it is, your setup's going to get better. Trips, my internet doesn't allow me to live stream right now, but hopefully that's changing soon. I'm getting fiber. On the 7th.
Like 600 up, 600 down. Oh my God.
Yeah, 600 up and 600 down. It's going to be
crazy.
Fantastic.
What's your favorite train?
I just don't need the gig.
Julian's, I don't know. I don't know.
My
trains.
favorite train? My favorite train is the one on tracks.
Oh my gosh. Not the band. Yeah, 600 up. Yeah.
Yeah, I can get with fiber, I can get up to like I can get, I think they said up to 6.
I get up to 23 max.
I think I can get up to 6. Is it 6 gigs? Up? It's
6,000?
It's like ridiculous. Yeah.
6,000 megabits?
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly. That is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tricky thing with live streaming is you do have to have a decent upload speed.
Yeah.
Mine, I have Xfinity, and all of their plans, I asked them, all of their plans get between 21 and 23 up. I asked, can I get more? And they basically said, nope, all of our plans are that. And I'm like, what?
Julian's his favorite game. Cabbage's favorite game is Sea of Thieves. My favorite game is a throwback. We know that's your favorite game, Cabbage. Let's be honest. Are you going to say anything else?
No.
I didn't think so. My favorite game is a throwback all the way to Mafia 2, I believe is what it was. On the PS2.
Oh. Yeah, should I pull out like a Turok Evolution?
Turok Evolution.
Oh, PS2. I have a thing.
Listen.
We could play that game. You have to come back down though.
need to.
Multiplayer, split screen. I've got a splitter for my Elgato. Everything. We could totally stream it. Well, everybody, this has been nice. We want to do these more often. We want to be back on here on Streamers Unplugged, creating content and everything to help you with your content journey and adventure. You can always reach out to us on our Discord, on our YouTubes. They're all linked in all of our descriptions, or at least on the channel page. And if not, ask what they are, comment and everything. We are going to shift over to the Cabbage channel and start up some Sea of Thieves for the rest of the evening, but we are happy that you are all able to make it and hope you subscribe and enjoy. And
Julian's,
yeah,
if you want to join us, it's over at Cap with 2 P's, Cabbage.
I'll just say me. It's me.
It is him.
It's me right here.
So,
all right, folks, we will talk to you soon.
We're going to be over there here in about 10 minutes. So,
yep. All right, sounds good, Pyro.
Sounds good, Pyro.